For years, the truth lived in whispers. Fragments, unopened files, voices ignored. But truth has a way of clawing its way up from the grave. And this time, it reached the one door powerful enough to burn the entire system down. The office of Federal Prosecutor Annette Cormier, a woman with a reputation for reopening cases no one else wanted to touch. Cormier listens as the wrongful conviction team lays out the evidence. A withheld surveillance, buried witness statements, contaminated jackets, coerced confessions, Maddox's incentive contracts, 3 innocent lives destroyed. Cormier doesn't speak for 20 seconds. Then she says the words that change everything. These aren't mistakes. These are patterns. And patterns leave fingerprints. An investigation is officially opened. Quietly, carefully, because Cormier knows one thing. If Maddox's circle realizes they're being hunted, they'll burn whatever's left. A team recovers the malfunctioned campus tape. It had never malfunctioned. Someone mislabeled it so it stayed in storage. The real suspect, the unknown man following Rachel, is clear as day in the footage. And he is Clay Maddox's nephew. DNA matches a cold case in New Mexico. Daniel's conviction is vacated. When Daniel walks out of prison after 26 years, his mother faints at his feet. He kneels beside her, apologizing for something he never did. The fire investigator who accused her is subpoenaed. Under pressure, he confesses. His supervisor ordered him to classify the fire as arson. Why? Because the department was losing federal funding due to unsolved domestic cases. Mara's ex-boyfriend, the man with the restraining order, is located in Phoenix. New forensic fire analysis concludes the blaze began at the back window, not inside the home. Her ex had purchased lighter fluid the day before. When Mara is released, she doesn't run into her family's arms. She walks out silent, holding a photograph of her 2 children. The reporters cry before she does. The contaminated jacket resurfaces. This time, tested correctly, it carries none of Harlan's DNA. A new witness steps forward. The tattooed man seen leaving the pastor's home was a former confidential informant used by Maddox's circle. In exchange for information, he received protection, even when suspected of violence. The judge overturns Harlan's conviction with an apology. We failed you as a nation. When Harlan exits the prison gates, he salutes the American flag hanging above the guard tower, a symbol he still respects, even when it didn't protect him. Cormier's team raids Maddox's old consultancy office. They find shredded incentive documents, case logs with initials matching dozens of detectives, payment trails, emails about priority closures. Evidence Maddox coached officers on extracting confessions from vulnerable suspects. And worst of all, a list of high-risk defendants. People with disabilities, trauma, or limited resources. Targets, easy convictions, disposable lives. The list includes Daniel, Mara, Harlan, and 42 others. A nationwide manhunt begins. Airports flagged. Vehicles monitored. He vanishes. 2 weeks later, the FBI finds him in an abandoned fishing cabin outside Mobile, Alabama. He's alone, disheveled. Boxes of files stacked around him like a shrine to his own mania. When agents arrest him, he says, "You don't understand. None of them were supposed to talk." He met the detectives, the ones he trained, the ones who took his lessons too literally, the ones who got sloppy. When reporters shove microphones toward him, he says one sentence that makes the entire country freeze. Efficiency is the backbone of justice. Americans hear it for what it really was. The motto of a man who destroyed innocent lives for the illusion of success. Daniel stands in a courtroom as the judge formally apologizes that he says nothing, just stares at the empty space where his 20s and 30s used to be. Mara touches the charred edges of the photo of her children. She whispers, "I didn't fail you." They did. Harlan sits on his sister's porch, the sun setting that he says to her, "I can breathe again." Then adds, "But not the way I used to. Because innocence restored is not innocence returned. Justice served is not justice repaired." And as the documentary ends, the narrator leaves viewers with the final haunting truth. For every innocent person who walked free, how many more are still buried under the cases that were never reopened? Fade out, silence, then the punchline. This was only the beginning. The truth had finally cracked open, but justice was still dragging its feet. For weeks after the confession video surfaced, nothing happened. No arrests, no press conference, no apologies. It was as if the system, so quick to cage Daniel, was suddenly sluggish, almost reluctant to do the right thing. But the world was watching now, and the world was angry. A small protest outside the county courthouse swelled into thousands. Retired teachers, veterans, college kids, church groups, everybody chanting one name: Free Daniel Reyes. Yet inside the courthouse, powerful people were scrambling. The judge who sentenced Daniel? Up for re-election. The prosecutor? Running for Congress. The detective who hid the evidence? Silently lawyering up. They all had something to lose. Then, out of nowhere, it happened. Late one night, attorney Maya Calder got a call from a number she didn't recognize. On the other end was a shaken voice, Detective Harris's former partner. He whispered, "They made him destroy the evidence. He didn't do it alone." They all knew. Then he named names. The DA, a senior investigator, and the judge's own clerk. A full conspiracy. The kind that buries innocent lives to protect careers. Maya recorded every word. 2 days later, federal agents swept the county building. Boxes of documents, hard drives, secret emails showing deliberate suppression of evidence. It wasn't just negligence. This was organized contamination of justice. The detective who originally framed Daniel tried to run, but was arrested at a gas station outside the city, suitcase half-packed. By evening, the news crackled across every major network. Wrongful conviction case explodes into county-wide corruption scandal. Maya went to the prison personally. When Daniel stepped into the sunlight for the first time in 5 years, he froze. Not because of the brightness, but because a crowd of strangers was waiting for him. People held signs saying, "You deserve better. We believe you. Welcome home." He broke down. So did Maya. So did half the crowd. He wasn't just walking out of a prison. He was walking out of a grave the system had dug for him. What no one expected was the twist that came next. During the investigation, agents found something in the suppressed files. DNA from the real perpetrator. Someone who'd been free this entire time. Someone with a violent record. Someone who had crossed paths with Daniel before the murder. Someone who should have been stopped years ago. And now that man, finally, was being hunted. Days later, a SWAT team cornered the real killer in an abandoned property outside the county. As officers surrounded him, he tried to escape through a window, insisting he warned them it would come out. Before he was taken into custody, he muttered, "You think I worked alone?" Those words hit investigators like a shockwave. There was more. Much more. Hidden networks. Dirty cases. And possibly more innocent people behind bars. Daniel's case wasn't an accident. It was the first domino. And now, all the others were starting to fall.